Hey, what is going on, guys? So Apple recently released iOS 13.6. This is probably one of the last major releases of iOS and iPadOS before we see the new stuff come this fall. So we have quite a few features here, a lot of changes, so we need to go ahead and get started with this video. So the first thing here is digital car keys. So at WWDC 2020, Apple announced that they were going to be doing digital car keys in the Wallet app. So if you get a new BMW, you'll be able to actually use your phone or even your Apple Watch as a car key. Now, I'm sure many automotive manufacturers will be adding this more and more to their cars, but like I said, as of right now, all you can get is a new BMW. But this is a really cool idea, and I think it'll be awesome. So you'll be able to unlock, lock, and start your car with your phone. You'll also be able to securely disable or remove any car keys in case you lose your iPhone. Something really cool as well is you can share the car keys through iMessage, and you can even have a driver-specific profile in case you want to let your kids or somebody else take your car out and you don't want them to be able to do everything. And then one of the last things to do with the car keys is there's actually going to be a power reserve feature specifically for the key. So if your phone runs out of battery and you still need to be able to start your car, your phone will be in a power reserve mode and you'll still be able to use your phone to access your car and even start it. So that's a pretty good idea. And that's about it for the digital car keys. Like I said, I'm sure more manufacturers will be implementing this in their future vehicles, but for now, just a brand new BMW is what you'll be able to use digital car keys with. Okay, so next up is Apple News. So Apple News got several things here added to it. I discussed some of them in my macOS 10.15.6 video. You can check that out on the channel as well. But now we have a tab down here that says audio. So if you tap on that, if you have an Apple News Plus subscription, you'll be able to get a daily news briefing that you can hit play, and it'll kind of just give you all today's top stories in a few minutes or so. You can see one right here that is available is about 7 minutes long. So if you just want to get the highlights every single day, that's pretty cool, but of course you have to have an Apple News Plus subscription to do so. Not only do you get the daily news briefing, but there's also some audio stories that are going to be narrated. And basically it's for, maybe you don't want to read the actual news story, you just want to hear it read, or maybe it's some people that maybe, need something like that for them. And all that stuff, like I said, can be found in this brand new audio tab down here at the bottom. And another thing with this audio is you can also listen to this through Apple CarPlay as well. Another thing here is local news. So if you live in a specific area such as San Francisco, the Bay Area, Los Angeles, Houston, or New York, you can now get personalized and more local news stories depending on the city that you're living in, of course. And you can always hit follow and add them to your Apple News, so you can kind of get more local news for your area if you're in one of those big cities. Now if you want more local news, maybe for your specific area, like you don't live in one of these places, then you can actually subscribe to Apple News Plus and you'll be able to get those more local stories there. Then finally here, if we go down to following and we go down to the bottom of that now, you can now see notifications and email, and you can scroll down here to the bottom and you see this email from Apple News, so you can actually turn that off now and change it up here in this notifications tab. And that is all we got here for Apple News. So again, you really need an Apple News Plus subscription to get majority of those features, but for the people that do subscribe to it, you have a lot of new features to play around with. Okay, so there are a few changes here to the Health app, so we can go ahead and head into there. So we get all of our normal activity and things like that. It all looks the same, of course, but if you go down to Browse now, you can scroll down a little bit and you'll notice that there's a brand new Symptoms section here. So you can tap on that and it has just about every kind of symptoms that you can think of. So this is a nice way to log your symptoms. Maybe you're experiencing something going on and you want to be able to remember it to share with your doctor, and this is a great way to do that. So let's just say you can tap on something such as acne even, and you can add data up here at the top and you can log those symptoms. So if we hit add, You can see when it started, when it ended, if it's present, how severe was it, and all those different things like that. So you can get pretty specific. So this is a great new way to log your symptoms in the Health app. Okay, so for a few other things and some bug improvements. If you go into your settings and you go to General and you go to Software Update, it'll check for your software like it always does. And when you go in there, you can see it'll tell you whether or not your iPhone is up to date. But you now have a new section up here that says Customize Automatic Updates. So if you tap on this, you now have the option to turn on and off automatically downloading an iOS update. So sometimes you may look at your phone, you see that little 1 pop up on your settings application, and that is because it's letting you know that you downloaded an iOS update. Now sometimes these updates can be, several gigabytes, and people may not want those downloaded. So you now have the option to toggle it on and off. And along with downloading them, you also have the option to turn off automatically installing the iOS updates. So maybe if you just want to do your updates manually, or maybe you had a bad experience where your phone updated automatically and you started having more problems, maybe you want to just wait and see if that update's going to mess up your phone before you install it. That's a great way to do this now as well. So a bug fix here that was fixed is an issue with iCloud Drive where it was syncing and it could cause applications to become unresponsive. So you might be in Safari, for example, and your iCloud Drive was syncing in the background and Safari just all of a sudden stops working. Now I've never had that happen to me before, but if you have, that issue should be resolved now. Another thing that was resolved is an issue that could cause data roaming to appear to be disabled on an eSIM even though it was remained active. Another issue that was fixed is some phone calls from Saskatchewan. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I'm probably not. I apologize, but it could make the phone calls from there appear that they were coming from the United States. Another issue that was fixed was your audio could drop when you were making a phone call over Wi-Fi calling. And then also with Wi-Fi calling, some iPhone 6s and SE devices were not able to register for Wi-Fi calling, so those two issues to do with that should be resolved now. Another thing here is the software keyboard could unexpectedly appear when connected to certain third-party hardware and keyboards, and also the Japanese hardware keyboards could be incorrectly mapped as a US keyboard. Something to do with assistive touch. When it was enabled, you could have stability issues when you accessed your control center. Another thing here for administrative access is to specify domains to exclude from traffic carried by always-on VPN connections. So that's something we can't obviously see, but if you had a fleet of iPhones for a company or something, an administrator could go in there and do that now. And guys, that is pretty much it. So a little bit more stuff added here than on macOS or watchOS. But yeah, just want to make this video talking about all the new changes here in iOS 13.6. Probably one of the final major releases of iOS 13 before we see iOS 14. But anyways guys, that's all I got for you today. Thanks for watching as always. Be sure to click that subscribe button and I will catch you all in the next video.